Mr. Lewin, a very renowned, world-renowned attorney, a champion of justice and an expert in human rights and constitutional law. He actually heads the legal team which will be appealing the guilty verdict. Mr. Lewin is famous for constitutional law practice, but is now also famous for the very amazing practice of Torah Constitution and Ahavas Yisrael. Mr. Lewin.
Ich will euch sagen, wenn ich bin reingekommen in den Saal und ich habe gehört, wie man redet Jiddisch, habe ich gemeint, dass Rabbi Lifschitz, wenn hat mir gebeten, als soll da sein, hat mir nicht gesagt, dass ich darf reden in Jiddisch. Und jetzt, ich sehe, alle reden Jiddisch, und ich bin der Einzige, was wir reden Englisch, wir reden Belas in Englisch. Ich werde mich entschuldigen. Ich bin Nathan Lewin, in dem Oilem bin ich Nathan Lewin. An Oreinikel von Beis Yitzchak, Secher Tzadik Levacha, und an Einikel von Reisha Rav, Eichet Secher Tzadik Levacha, Hashem Yimkam Damo. Ich habe das, was ich habe geschrieben, was ich will zu euch reden, ist in Englisch. Ihr darf verstehen, jetzt arbeite ich in einer Firma mit meiner Tochter. Der Name ist Lewin & Lewin in Washington. Früher bin ich gewesen mit der Firma, wo der Name ist gewesen Miller, Cassidy, LaRocca and Lewin. Alles in den Goyim. Ich bin der einzige Jid dort in den Nummern von der Firma. Und man hat gesagt, das ist ein Dream Mayoralty Ticket in New York City. Miller, Cassidy, LaRocca und Lewin. Aber man hat gefragt, Lewin, du bist das auch ein größer Knacker, der Arguments in the Supreme Court, jeder weiß, du bist ein Professor, für was bist du der letzte Namen in den Namen von der Firma? Habe ich gesagt, geantwortet. Was? Okay. Habe ich gesagt, geantwortet, ihr versteht nicht. Meine Klienten lesen von rechts zu links. Nope, well, yes, unhated in English. Dear friends of Shalom Mordechai Rubashkin, you are the dust of the earth. In Hebrew, afar haaretz. How did Bilam praise the Jewish nation in the Sedra we read this week? Mi mana afar Yaakov. In promises to Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, we would be like dust. V'samti etzaracha ka'afar haaretz. And like stars in the heaven and sand by the sea. V'harbe arbe etzaracha kechokvei hashamayim v'chachol asher al sfas hayam. Why? Why these three metaphors? What distinguishes the dust, afar, from the sand, the coal, and from the stars? My grandfather, the illustrious Reisha Rav Aaron Levine, Zecher Tzadik Levracha Hashem Yimkom Damo, who was a leader of Polish Jewry, murdered in the Khurban in Lemberg 69 years ago, said that the difference is the degree of unity, of achdus, that our people demonstrate. Dust sticks together under all conditions and combines always. Sand combines only when it is wet, and the stars are always separate. In his words, Chelkei ha'am kshurim udvukim ze im ze b'kesher amitz v'chazak az meshulam hema la'afar. When the sections of our nation are tied and bound together in a lasting and powerful bond, they may be compared to dust, not to sand, whose unity is temporary, or to the stars that shine separately. Your support this evening for a Jew in distress, whether you're a chassid or a misnagid, whether you're Satmar or Babav or Skver or Spinker or Lubavitch, whether you're Haredi, and I don't see very many Chiloniyim around, proves that we warrant the praise of Bilam, that we cling together now like a Afar Haaretz. Now Shlomo HaMelech, the wisest of all men, said, Shem Tov Mishemen Tov. I report to you tonight how a Shem Tov can be wantonly destroyed. And Judge Reed in Iowa announced today in an outrageous decision how she is destroying a life and destroying a family. Let me take you back almost 6 years. It was Erev Thanksgiving in the year 2004, Tufshin Samach Dalet. I was called in my office by Mr. Donald McNeil, a reporter for the New York Times, who had been told that I was a lawyer who had represented agri-processors, by then already the largest kosher slaughtering and meat-packing plant in the United States. PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, had given reporter McNeil a video that had been secretly taken in the agri plant in Postville, Iowa. The video, said PETA, proved that the shechita at the agri plant was not kosher. It showed that after the shaychet had made his cut, a Hispanic worker approached and removed the animal's trachea. Shalom Rubashkin, who I called immediately, was astounded to hear this allegation. Not only did agri-processors have a star-studded array of hashgachas, but because it was the only American plant that performed shechita munachas, turning the animal upside down in a metal pen so that the shaychet could do shechita with the animal on its back, its meat was the only American shechita that the Israeli rabbinate permitted to be imported into Israel. At Shalom's request, I flew from Washington to New York on the Friday of that Thanksgiving weekend to see the video. I had asked Mr. McNeil whether he could send it to me, but he told me he could not send me a copy because, and if you believe this, then I'll sell you the Williamsburg Bridge tonight. The New York Times, he said, did not have any facility where it could copy a video. So as soon as I reached Manhattan on Friday morning at 7:30, and you should know that the Friday after Thanksgiving is known as Black Friday. Stores open up early in the morning. I raced to a store that was open, and I bought a video recorder so that I, and not the New York Times, would make a copy of that video. Rav Chaim Cohn of Kahala Das Yeshurim, the chief Rav HaMachshir at Agri-Processors, joined me at the New York Times. Mr. McNeil showed us the video in his office and insisted